Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So today we have our student, Dr. Janelle, with us. Has a very unique profile. She accepted a pre-match in pathology and wanted to share her journey and challenges with you. So welcome, Janelle. Glad
Hi.
to have you here.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's start off with a bit of a background about yourself. Where are you from, resident, or your med school education, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So I'm obviously a IMG. I come originally from South Africa. I graduated from the University of the Free State, but in 2007. So I am an older IMG. I worked in family medicine for several years, and then I worked in anatomical pathology for 2 years specifically. So in 2018, my husband got an intercompany transfer to the US and decided to accept it. And so I came with and landed in the USA. So I initially didn't want to do this whole process. I didn't want to do the exams, do the match, because I know how insanely difficult it is for an IMG to get into a residency program here. So I didn't come over and immediately have this idea of now I'm going to start studying and go into the pathways. So I actually first got a job in clinical trials because I wanted to use my medical knowledge, put it to some use. So I worked in clinical trials for about 1.5 to 2 years. And then I realized this is not exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'd rather want to be a doctor. I got a bit of motivation and started studying. Completed the steps, step 1, step 2, OET, which was in my case at that stage. I was able to pass all the exams the first time, but with low scores, unfortunately. So the fact that my scores were low and I was older, I thought, well, that's the end for me. I'm not going to bother further. Then my husband encouraged me and said, no, you've come this far, just try. So I looked and tried to find some, a company to try and help me. So I initially found 2 companies who I interviewed with, and they basically told me, don't even try further. Your scores are too low, you're too old, you don't really have a chance. So I was very despondent about that. And then I saw on YouTube a video of Sarthi with where there was an interview with an IMG with very similar profile to mine. And I decided, okay, I'm going to contact Sarthi and hear, maybe there's a chance. I haven't been very successful up to now, but maybe they will give me a chance. And then I spoke to Pavan, and he said the fact that I'd worked in pathology for 2 years because I wanted to match into pathology, he said we should try. So I was very thankful and immediately jumped into the whole process and pathway that Sarthi provides you with to enable to get yourself to try and match at least. So what happened was I watched all the classes. I attended all the Telegram and WhatsApp group chats. I contacted panelists and people who help you with your CV and your personal statement. Did all of that. I followed Pavan's advice to get more US clinical experience, so I did tele-rotations. So all of this definitely helped. After that, I sent like almost 1,000 letters of interest, which I think really made a difference, because after that, I actually received 4 interview invitations with all of these letters of interest that I'd sent. And then Sarthi provides a service where you can do mock interviews. So I immediately booked 4 mock interviews with a pathologist panelists, and made a world of difference. It really, really helped. They tell you what to wear, how to present yourself, what to say, what to not say, what to focus on to bring your strong points out, how to enhance how you come across. I think the interviews really made a big difference in my with my profile. So my second interview was actually with a program that was a pre-match program. And ironically, the day before the interview, Sarthi had put up a class of how to deal with pre-match programs. So I watched that. And there I didn't know what a pre-match program was. So I found out there that they can basically, after the interview, contact you anytime, immediately, or a month later, or 2 months later. And they also give you very little time to make the decision if you accept or don't accept the position. So I made sure that I looked up the program and got to know it pretty well, that if that maybe happened, that I would be okay matching there, and I would accept. So did the interview, it went well with all the prep from Sarthi, and after that I didn't hear anything from them again. So what I did was I with help again from the panel of Sarthi and advice, sent them another letter of, I suppose, intent in this case. And to be honest, after that email, I think 3 weeks later, the program director contacted me and said to me, they would love that I join the program, and but I only have the day to decide, one day. Anyway, so obviously I accepted, and that's my story.
Yeah, so thank you for outlining for our audience the story, and thank you for being very kind. It's your hard work, so let's not forget that. So now talk us through, you mentioned 2 challenges, year of graduation or lack of experience and things like that.
Yes.
So specifically, how did you overcome your challenges? What were these challenges? How did you overcome as part of this last year, or maybe a year before that? I know you had 2 years in pathology, so that experience helps. But what else did you do to overcome?
So, well, I realized my profile, due to my low scores and being older, was a setback. So what I specifically did to overcome this was I knew I needed extra help from, to let myself stand out. And I kind of knew I needed to be prepped in that way. So that's why I decided to source a company to help me. It was challenging because there were actually companies who weren't willing to help me. So the fact that, to be honest, I would say the fact that Sarthi was willing to take a chance on me, that really helped me overcome the challenge. And then obviously it doesn't just help saying, okay, hi, Sarthi, here I am. Now you have to fix everything. You have to put in the work as well. You have to watch all the classes, take notes, make sure you do your mock interviews, all of them, listen to what the panelists have to say, and make sure you do it. Each mock, the first mock interview I had went horribly. The one after that better, the one after that even better. And by the last one, it went very well. I mean, there were no nerves anymore when it flew. So I just want to say you have to put in the work as well once you get into Sarthi and make use of everything they provide you with. Otherwise, it's not going to help either. So, and that is what I definitely did. I made sure I kept up to date with every single thing that they posted. If they said, now your personal statement has to be in, I made sure it was in. If they said, now it's time to do mock interviews, I made sure I did the mock interviews. If there was an extra class that suddenly came up about a pre-match program, I made sure I watched it. So that, I would say, is how I overcame the challenges.
Okay. Now let's switch gears a bit, and you've been through this process, worked in pathology. In your opinion, during this trail, what do you think pathology programs are looking for in the applicant?
Okay, so one thing I would say is they prefer candidates who've passed the first time. If your scores are low, it's not the end of the world for them, but they do prefer someone who's passed the first time. If you have attempts, it's not the end of the world. Then you have to show that you're very interested in the field, and you do that by doing extra research. So you have to find, I would say, as much as you can, pathology-orientated research. If you can do a publication, great. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. The other thing that they want to show that you're very interested in pathology is they want you to have the US clinical experience. It doesn't just help having experience from your own country. You have to do more. So that, I would say, is very important too. So, I mean, the other thing is they don't mind so much that a person is older. It's not the end of the world for them. So, as I say, at the end of the world, it's at the end of the day, it's interest. They want you to show interest in the program.
Mm-hmm. So it's not really graduation. It's your documented interest, whether it's research or rotations. Yes. in pathology.
Yes.
So as we wrap it up, very, very good tips. Anything. So we got about 9 months now, for the next season. People in your shoes, similar to your profile, what would be your tips if they're having the same challenge, old YOG, reasonable scores, they're still scared whether they can get into pathology or not? What would be the 2 or 3 things you want them to do?
Well, I would firstly say, believe in yourself. That's a very important thing. And don't give up. There is always hope. I thought there wasn't hope quite a few times in my process, to be honest. I mean, first, I didn't want to do the exams. Secondly, after doing the exams, I thought there's no point in even applying. And each time I was proven wrong. So I would definitely say, don't give up. Just don't give up. Definitely find a company to help you with that extra prepping and just how to present yourself. The interview process is very important. That makes a big difference. So the fact that Sarthi gave me those mock interviews, I'm telling you, that made a big difference. It really helped me present myself better, and I didn't know what strong points exactly to focus on, and they pointed it out to me and told me how to showcase it. So, as I say, I would say go to Sarthi. That would be my advice.
Thank you again. You're very gracious. But thank you. This was very helpful. I hope that a lot of IMGs get inspiration from you, from your hard work. I mean, you didn't give up, as you said. It can be done, and you are a proof of that. So hopefully this helps other applicants as well.
Yes, no, I'm sure it will.
Thank you very much, Janelle. I appreciate your time, and good luck for your residency.